What would you give for a view like this, huh? Just look at this. It's about 12 o'clock in the afternoon in Pennsylvania in the autumn. Nature's first green is gold. Remember that poem by Robert Frost? I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all this beauty, and I'm kind of reflective today. There's things going on in my life that are presenting challenges to me. And while I can't go into the depth and width of all that is going on, I want to say a few things. And I've said this in other videos, and I don't want to reiterate everything in its entirety, but I just feel compelled to say a few things that I think everybody needs to be reminded of in their life from time to time. And sitting here looking at this and taking this all in reminds me of, the environment that I was once in and how bleak and dangerous it was. And I'm amazed that I did survive it. I mean, being homeless was one of the most trying experiences ever in my life. And as many videos as I made, and the responses that I've gotten, and all the viewership and all the number of views that it has accrued, these past 6 years, I haven't told you everything. I haven't shared everything with you. And as I said before, maybe in future videos, I may do that. But I just want you to realize one thing here while you're watching this video and you're looking at this beautiful scenery. Maybe you live in a place like this. Maybe you don't live in a place like this. But what you have to realize is that, all the circumstances that are in place in your life right now are just that. They are circumstances. One of the things that I really learned about homelessness, what I learned on the street is, the secret of life is not getting what you want. It's wanting what you already have. And that was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. We're such a materialistic society. We want the latest phone. We want the latest car. We want a better house than our neighbor. We want the best clothes. We're material upon material upon material. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I am a capitalist, and I have no objection to, accruing wealth and doing it by honorable means and not unethical means, and that you work hard and you can be successful. And, I realized that out in the streets in Pittsburgh when I was there is that before I came to the realization, you can say now, I survived. And I did. But what was even more important then was that I was surviving. There's a famous line by Winston Churchill where he says, if you're going through hell, keep going. And I did that. And I got out of that situation. And there's a lot of people right now, even as I speak to you and I make this video and I tell you things, there are many people right there, right now in Pittsburgh that are, they're going through hell right now. And, homelessness is like a prison. What really astonished me was, and this was a huge, guys, it was such a huge adjustment. Your world and the world that you were once part of are two separate entities. That's why I said it's like a form of prison, because when you're homeless and you're living on the streets, you're going one way. Look at that. You see that squirrel right there? You're going one way, and the rest of the world is going another way. And that was very difficult for me to handle, because I was once part of that club in life, where going to work, getting up, doing what you need to do. And then I fell on an unfortunate set of circumstances that, compelled me to live out in the streets. And I had to learn lessons, and some of those lessons I had to learn the hard way. And it got me thinking while I was out. I'm like, man, how much I took for granted while I was still living in a house and a warm bed, my own bathroom. And again, those are things that prisoners can tell you that that's a huge adjustment to try to belong to. It was very challenging. The stress levels were high in the shelters. Men were fighting over. I mean, guys, like I said, I haven't told you everything, but I'll tell you one little quick story. I've seen a guy get stabbed with a knife over a pack of cigarettes. He was stabbed. He bled right there at the shelter. Cops came, of course, took him away. Just another day out in the street. Just another night in a homeless shelter, When you deal with individuals like that, and you're dealing with that level of uncertainty in your life, it has a psychological effect on you, like everything else would that's unfortunate in your life. Maybe you right now are facing a huge dilemma in your life. Maybe you're facing huge monstrous financial difficulties. Maybe you're battling addiction. Maybe you're about to get a divorce. You know, whatever it is that's going on in your life. Maybe you have a huge health scare that might put you in a grave. You know, there's so many things. And that was another thing that I realized. You know, if it wasn't for my inner strength, there's just no way I would have survived what I did. But I'm happy to say that no matter what's aiming at you right now, and no matter what's staring you down the barrel in life, you do have the courage and you do have the skill set, believe it or not, to get through it. It's very difficult for me to, even with all the videos that I've made, it's very difficult to try to explain to somebody what homelessness is like. You know, it's like an amputee trying to tell you what it's like to go in life without having legs when he once had legs, or she had legs. It's something that has to be experienced, but I'm very, very glad that most of you will never experience it, because it's not something for everybody. And guys, it really took a toll on me. So physically, you know, some of the nights that I endured outside were so bad because it was so cold. My feet, when I got into Pittsburgh, I had work boots that I had on. Those work boots were not insulated, so consequently, when I slept outside, my feet got cold. Very cold, painfully cold. There were nights when I got up that my feet hurt and burned so bad that I had to take off my boots in single-digit temperatures. I had to take off my boots and I had to rub my feet to get the circulation back in there. How I did not go into hypothermia, to this day I don't have an answer for you. I really, really do not know. I don't know. It as a result of that, as a result of enduring that for a long time, because when I became homeless, it was in the winter time. Not a very good time to be outdoors, right? But that's when mine started in January. And you can follow the videos and see for yourself. And as a result of that brutality, outside in single-digit temperatures before I got into housing or some sort of shelter, it took a toll on my feet. Now I've been diagnosed with arthritis in my feet. And it has severely inhibited my mobility from time to time. There are times I want to go hiking in the woods and I can't because my feet are hurting so bad. When a change in the weather comes, for those of you who have arthritis and know what I'm talking about, it takes a tremendous effect on me. So, you know, that show's over for me. I don't know if I could do that like I did before, but having the knowledge of just sitting back and looking over that, and I'm thinking to myself, man, it was a crazy time in my life. But I'll tell you what, it was something that it is something that I'm glad that I experienced, because I really, really